talk too fast sometimes, but you just have to listen faster, okay? So we'll get through it. So real quick, first thing I want to get into is the industry. So it's important, and this is foundational stuff. A lot of this, if you went to a Stream University recently, right? We've only had two, one in Dallas and one in King of Prussia about a little over a month ago. Or if you went to Vegas, you saw some of this. It's been, again, modified to a degree, but it's always good to go through it again, and it's terrific for the new person. So we're always going to have to share this with you to keep you up to speed. Our goal is to keep it as simple as possible, right? And let me tell you something. Being in mobile myself, my background is 2 decades almost in mobile before I became a Stream associate. And then, of course, after I left that industry, we decided we're going to do the same thing here. So I guess I can't get away from it. But one of the things I learned is it is technology. And you can only keep it so simple. Our goal is to make it possible for an associate in the way we do business to keep it simple. And it's simple in that all we do is get a few customers, right? So never lose sight of that. Every one of us just get a handful of customers. If you had to do what I did when I was in mobile, back in the day, you would have an individual quota every month, meaning you had to sell 50 phones a month. In that environment, you better become an expert real quick. And as you accumulate customers through the course of your employment, that just brings in massive service responsibility. You have to take care of those customers. Based on how we do business, right, in relationship marketing or network marketing, whatever you want to call it, direct selling, each one of us only get a handful of customers forever. So don't lose sight of that. And that handful, by the way, could be a combination of mobile, protective services, energy, both gas and electricity, and other things that we roll out. We still just need a few, not a few of each, a few total. We can all manage that for the rest of our lives in this business. So you don't have to be an expert. Don't lose sight of that. That's what makes our business simple. So what we're going to go through is giving you a foundation. You still have to have somewhat of an understanding of mobile, right? I mean, you can't be completely clueless to it, right? So what I want to help you understand is what the industry looks like and who we are as it's related to this industry. And then we'll get into what we're offering. Make sense? And then talk about how to get started and how to enroll. So who are the wireless carriers in the industry? Well, the industry is made up of 2 types of carriers, okay? There's what you call mobile network operators, or MNOs, all right? And the reason they're called mobile network operators is because they've built the networks, the nationwide networks that all of the customers are out there riding off of. One of those 4 that you see on the screen. And they are household names, wouldn't you agree? Right? There's not a name up there that you don't know. Heck, you can't turn the TV on without seeing a commercial by 1 or 2 of them within the first 5 minutes of that TV being on. It is a highly competitive, aggressive industry, and it's changing rapidly every day. So there they are, AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon. Not necessarily in that order, but they are the top 4 nationwide wireless providers. They have the networks, they own them, they built them. They started building them over 30 years ago. Nobody's coming into this world building a network from the ground up. It's too expensive, and they're way behind the ball. They would never be able to compete. So everybody else who gets into the game is considered a mobile virtual network operator. So you insert the virtual word. Why virtual? Because they don't have the network. They're going to lease access to one of these networks. They're going to create a relationship with one of those top 4 guys and say, we want to play, and we're going to pay you a lease fee, whether it's monthly, whatever the contract is, to utilize your network for our customers, or what the industry calls subscribers. All right? So anybody who's going to get into this game today is a mobile virtual network operator. All right? So now you see these logos, right? Virgin, Cricket, Boost, and Metro PCS. I would submit to you that they're also household names. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. Because they have done a heck of a job branding themselves. Their customers don't really care, don't really know sometimes what network they're on. They just know they're part of Metro PCS, or they're part of Virgin Mobile, or Boost, right? Or Cricket. That's called branding. So where does Stream fall into play? Same place. We're going to be a mobile, we are. Talking about it as if it's still coming. We're here now, right? We are a mobile virtual network operator. So here's the deal. We own the subscriber. We service them, we sell them, we build them, we take care of them. They just operate on another network, right? We've partnered with 2 of those networks. But before we get into that, let's talk about, if you will, the technologies. So you understand who the players are, MNOs and MVNOs, right? Sprint is a mobile virtual network operator. That's who we are. We're a carrier just like those others, right? Now there's 2 types of technologies, what we call CDMA and GSM. Now we can get into the real nitty-gritty weeds and the details here. CDMA stands for Code Division Multiple Access. What does that mean to you? it doesn't mean anything to you. It's just how the customer on that network travels across that network. It's how that technology works. They just call it CDMA. Then you've got GSM. That stands for Global Systems for Mobile Communication. All right? Global is the key word here. That's the world standard, if you will. That operates all over the world, and here in the US. See, the US decided some 30 years ago to inject CDMA into the game. So over here, we have two technologies. But when you leave the United States, it's one technology. It's called GSM. All right? Now, that doesn't mean CDMA is less than GSM. Don't misunderstand. CDMA is as big, if not bigger, than GSM in the US. It's that powerful. And oh, by the way, those phones support GSM when they travel abroad. That's why you'll see a SIM card, by the way, in a CDMA phone for GSM capabilities, international dialing. And oh, by the way, also because of the data services today, they all operate on that SIM card. Right, 4G LTE. But the bottom line is, those are the two technologies. And we call them SIM-based and non-SIM-based because of how they're identified to the network. So in a CDMA world, it's about the phone itself, right? So this little phone here, well, it's a little bigger now, right? This phone here, if you look at Mike's, it's like a laptop. Do you ever see his? This has a little code on the phone. It's called an MEID, Mobile Equipment Identifier. Again, you don't need to be an expert here. But the phone itself is what identifies you as a subscriber to a CDMA network. Kind of like a car has a VIN number specific to the car, each phone on the CDMA network has a code specific to that phone that identifies you to that network. Over here in GSM, it's a little bit more fluid, it's loose. It has nothing to do with the phone, it's about the SIM card that goes into the phone. That's what identifies you to a GSM network. So those are the differences in how the technology works. The message to you guys is there's two primary technologies in the US today, and there they are, right? And you can see those top four carriers. They're equally divided amongst those two. Sprint and Verizon operate on a CDMA network. AT&T Mobile operate on a GSM network. All right, so we've got the top four broken up evenly across those two technologies in the US. And as far as MVNOs are concerned, here's where we fall. We will offer services on both CDMA and GSM, just like Straight Talk, who is an MVNO, does the same thing. And then you see over here, Boost and Virgin, they're specific to CDMA, where Cricket, Metro, PCS are specific to GSM. The message here that I like is that we have options for our customers. You need to be on CDMA or prefer to be on CDMA, we've got an option for you. You need or prefer to be on GSM, we've got an option for you. So we're going to offer services on the nation's largest 4G LTE GSM network. That's one of our options. Or we could put people on the nation's fastest growing 4G LTE CDMA network. All right? So those are going to be our two options for our customers. Again, the choice is theirs based on what fits their need. All right? I like that about our offering when you look at it that way. Some things to know about our GSM network that are critical for every associate. We are an MVNO, Mobile Virtual Network Operator. What is common amongst all MVNOs that operate on a GSM network are certain limitations, right? The big guy wants to kind of keep the little guy down a little bit, right? So that right now, there's a few restrictions on our GSM platform, all right, that you need to be aware of. All right, now, understand as I go through these, we are working feverishly with the companies at the top to eliminate these restrictions, but know that they exist today. So let's go through them. Number one, visual voicemail, okay, is not supported by Stream's GSM network. So what is visual voicemail? All right? A lot of people don't realize what it is because it's become so common, they're used to it. It's inherent in most of our devices. Most people have a smartphone. Does everybody have a smartphone? Most people in this room do? So visual voicemail is when you actually go in there and you see the list of people that left you a voicemail. If the name is there, it's because the contact's in your contact database. But if it's just a number, you see the number. You see the day they called you, how long the message is, and you can choose which one you want to play just by hitting it, right? And it plays the audible voicemail message right there on your phone. You listen to it, right? It's nice. Old school voicemails when you have to dial in your voicemail box, enter your password, and go in the order that they were left, and you don't know what's in there. You just know there's 6 of them in there, right? That's what we have now. We don't have visual voicemail. There are third-party applications that you can download to utilize visual voicemail, but it's not inherent in our GSM devices. That's a restriction right now, okay? Or limitation. That's number one. Number two, mobile hotspot is not currently supported on AT&T devices. So if your device originated from AT&T, right, because this is our GSM network and that's a compatible type of device, if it originated with AT&T, you can't use it as a personal hotspot. What is that? turning this into a Wi-Fi access point, kind of like your router in your house. You put that there, you access the network, and ooh, I can get on there from my laptop, and now I can get online, right? That's what mobile hotspot is, all right? So if your device originated from AT&T, it's not supported today. The third piece is MMS, okay? MMS with Apple only is not currently supported. So if you have an iPhone on Stream's GSM platform, you don't have MMS capabilities. What is MMS? Multimedia services. That's when you send a picture, a text with, when you send a picture, when you send videos, or when you group text. That's using MMS. Simple texting is SMS. That's fine. But you cannot send pictures, video, or group text. So, let me make this clear. Most Apple users have iMessage. Anybody use Apple, have iMessage turned on? Right? It's not turned on automatically. You got to turn it on. And a lot of people do it because it has a lot better features with all of your texting capability. So most people have it turned on. iMessage is an in-house app built by Apple that bypasses MMS. So Apple to Apple, if both users have iMessage on, you can send pictures, videos, and all that stuff, no problem. The issue becomes an Android to Apple or Apple to Android, right? If you're an Android user on our GSM platform, you have no problem whatsoever with MMS. You can send pictures, video, group text, you're just fine. Right? So that's specific to Apple. Again, it's about a relationship that we're trying to develop with Apple to make them see us bigger than what they think we are, and then we'll have that restriction lifted at some point. Here's the great news. That's the tough stuff, right? That's our GSM network. Everything else is fine. Here's the great news. With our CDMA network, 0 limitations whatsoever. We have everything you're looking for. We are up to speed equal to that of what Sprint is offering their customers. It is no different when you sit on the Stream CDMA platform. So it's powerful, powerful news. Guys, the bottom line is we've got options for our customers. What fits your need? One or the other. They choose, right? And that's what I love about it. We can give them the choice. So that's what we have there. So let's talk about the rate plans a little bit. Individual plans. Well, before I get into that, let's talk about the basics of every rate plan that we roll out. This is consistent across the board. This is how our plans will be structured. They will be unlimited talk and text. Every plan has nothing to do with how much time you spend on the phone or how many text messages you send. All of our rate plans are built with data in mind. It's about flexible monthly data packages. So it's based on the data that the customer uses that determines how we position them onto the proper plan. That's what it's all about today. Not talk or text, that's unlimited. Data overages, 1.5 cents per megabyte. That's the industry's best. Sprint does the same thing. All the other carriers, they ratchet you up, they round you up, they charge you for more just because you went over a little bit. We will bill you for what you use if you were to go over. And believe me, it's a big, big deal, and I'll show you an illustration in a minute. No contracts, month-to-month service, guys. No contracts tied to our rate plans whatsoever. $35 non-refundable activation fee. Guys, that's the cost of onboarding a customer. Again, industry common. Some carriers are $40, $45, $50 per activation. Ours is the lowest in the industry at $35. Credit checks are performed for certain business rules. All right, there is no contracts with our rate plans, but there are certain business rules that credit check would apply to, and we'll talk about that. No termination fees. Again, if you were to leave, it's month to month because we have no contracts with our monthly rate plans. All right, let's look at what the plans are. On our GSM network, we begin at $32. That's no data, $32, unlimited talk and text, all the way up to 5 gigabytes of data for $78.50. That's an individual subscriber. That's not a share plan. It's one subscriber line. That's a one-line plan. Okay. On CDMA, our 1 gigabyte plan starts at $30. So $30, $2 less than $30 over on GSM, and it comes with a gigabyte of data, up to unlimited data for $65 a month. Again, back to choices. If our customer says, I use too much data, where do you think they're going to be? Right here. That's the best thing for them. Unlimited. We have an unlimited option for them on our CDMA platform. So the plans are basically what they need. We put them where they need to be based on the data that they use. Let's talk about the shared plans. On our GSM, 5 gigabytes of data for $78.50, moving up to 20 gigabytes of data to be shared for $168.50. Now notice, these plans include the first line. Again, this is going to be a shared plan. You're going to build a plan here. These rates here are for the data that everybody will use, including that first line in that price point. On CDMA, it looks like this. 5 gigabytes beginning at $65, up to 20 gigs for $155. Every additional line that you add, lines 2 through 10, are $15 per line added to that plan. you must have a minimum of 2 lines in order to build a shared plan. And you could be approved for only 3, and 10 lines is the maximum. So let's go back to the credit check, right? For certain business rules. If your credit comes back underneath what we're looking for, less than the exceptional rate that we're looking for, you're going to be told, well, you can open up a shared plan with a maximum of 3 lines to begin. When you bill 3 consecutive months clean with Stream, that's the policy today. It could change that, but that's what we're telling us now. For 3 consecutive months of clean billing with Stream, we open the door and allow you to add more lines. All right? So that's the business rule aspect of why a credit check is run. Maximum amount on a shared plan right now, 10 lines. So let's take a look at an illustration of what that would look like in real world. With CDMA, we're going to take 4 lines sharing 10 gigs of data. Well, we're going to take that 10 gigabyte plan at 95, which includes the first line. You can see that right there. Each additional line is $15. So your total for 4 lines sharing 10 gigs on CDMA is $140 a month. All right? You will find that that's extremely competitive based on what you're seeing out there on a lot of these legacy plans that people are on. Don't look at what they're offering the new subscriber. Look at who's currently with that carrier, because they're not getting what's offered to the new subscriber. That's to gain additional business, right? You will find tons of people paying tons of money for stuff they don't even need. We can save them a fortune. You'll see that. So how do you get started? Very important that you understand. You could enroll at mystream.com, but as an associate in our business, that's not where you send your customer to enroll. You go to your mystream.com website. Don't go to the company site. Go to your personal website, and here's what it's going to look like. That's actually Brian and Beth Chia, top 10 money earner. Don't go to their website. Just giving you an idea of what your website looks like, right? So here's what's going to happen. On that website, you're going to be on mobile services when you go to that page. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when you go to your home page, it defaults to mobile. If you want to switch an energy bill, I'm just going to throw this in there for a little training tip, you actually have to click this banner, and that changes the page to an energy default, which would now respect the request service button and bring you into the energy portal. A lot of people are saying, how do I switch an energy bill? Every time I click that, it goes to mobile. It's because the page landed on mobile. You actually have to click this banner to change it over to energy. All right? So you're on the mobile banner now. You're going to click on request service, okay? And that's going to bring you into our mobile enrollment portal. All right? At which point you will enter your zip code. I want you to understand why you're entering a zip code. A lot of people are saying, what am I doing? Well, we are only operating, or setting up customers, I should say, establishing customers in the 48 contiguous states, correct? So that means no Alaska, no Hawaii. You cannot establish a customer in Alaska or Hawaii. So if you put an Alaska or a Hawaii zip code in here, it's going to say, sorry, we're not offering plans at this time in that area. So it's just determining where you are beginning to build your plan. What market are you in? That's what that's all about. Once you put the zip code in, it brings you into the front page of our enrollment site, at which point you're going to have the option to begin by selecting the individual plans or begin by selecting the shared plans. Notice that this is just getting you started, it says there, get started, in that particular area to begin to build your rates. You're not selecting that rate there or that rate there. A lot of people were balking saying, where's the rest of the prices? You know what I mean? That's just getting you started on which path you want. You want to build an individual line, or do you want to build a shared plan? Okay, so that's how you're going to go. I won't take you through the rest of this because we could be here all night. There's a whole nother presentation that walks through that. But I do want to point something out here. On the front page of your website, you do have your rates there that you can share with your customers. A lot of people were asking, where are the rates posted? Where can I get them? Can I print them out? All you got to do is scroll down when you're on your home page here, all right? Down to the middle of the site roughly, and you'll see this little button here. Boop, see that? It's big down. View mobile rate sheet. You click on that button, it pulls up a PDF document that you can print out, put it in your own portfolio, and share with your customers. It's got all of our rates for GSM and for CDMA right there. All right, so if you didn't know it was on your website, it is. And that's, by the way, on the front page of your website, not in the power center that's password protected. So anybody can get to that. Your customers can see that. All right? All right, so tools for simplification. Again, the whole goal, you know, I guess what makes it a little unique. Many of you know, I've been working with corporate on this whole launch because of my background. But I'm one of you if you're in this business, okay? I'm an associate. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. Thought it was only going to be energy. But I've gotten used to this business. I've grown, had success. So I understand it now, right? I'm a little bit more well-versed, if you will, in network marketing. So the goal is to try and get all this technology stuff, and there's a lot of tech guys, right, in corporate, came from mobile world to help build this, but they don't understand what we do. They don't understand us. So the goal for having me in there is to get that information that they're putting together and translate it in a way that you guys can use it and be effective and successful. So part of that is we got to give you tools to help simplify this. So keep your eyes open for this. Number one, Mobile Customer Gathering 101 for the associate. This is a document. It'll be like 3 pages, maybe 4, that you can print out. It's for you. It's an internal, if you will. It's not to give to a customer. It's for your own benefit. And you just go through, and it's going to walk you through from invitation to the conversation you want to have with a prospect to enrollment. One document that kind of guides you through, how do I even engage in this conversation, right? How do I invite somebody out? How do I get them to the enrollment? So it's a great little piece that we're playing around with, we're trying to build so that we can give you something to help you understand, how do I begin doing this, right? And then there's this, which you should have seen by now, hopefully. It's kind of not in big colors, but it's been released twice in Currents, and I believe it's available now in Currents. If you haven't gone in and gotten this, print this out. A couple people shaking their heads and giving me a thumbs up. This is a document that we put together, believe it or not, a month ago, and it was released a month ago in Currents, but it was sort of subtle, all right? Just came out again, I think, last week. But this gives you, the associate, a 1-page PDF, okay, that you can hand to your prospect or prospective customer or prospective associate and say, here's what we got. It's all there, right there. We have CDMA, we have GSM. Here's what you get with our CDMA network. Here's what you get with our GSM network. Which one's best for you? And oh, by the way, down at the bottom, here's what's compatible if you want to bring a device to CDMA, and here's what's compatible if you want to bring a phone to GSM. Stick to this. Don't try and break the rules and go get something that doesn't work because someone else told you it might, because you're going to have a problem. Stick to this. It's all right there, 1 page, and you just say, what works best for you? Is that a good document to have? Yeah. Get that, print it out. If you don't have it, print tons of them out. Use this to help you share it and say, what's working for you? This is what we got to offer. I worked for Sprint for 20 years. That's all I had to offer. We have that, and we have GSM. We have more, all right, than what I was successful with in the wireless world for 20 years. So we can do this, and again, because we don't have to get 50 a month. We just get a handful forever. I don't ever have to get another mobile customer or any customer for the rest of my life in this business. All I want to do is help other people go get a handful. And we've got the tools now, and we've got the services with which to do it. It's powerful. This is so much bigger than what we've done with energy. So much bigger, you have no idea. And we are literally just getting started. Most of you in the business know we're just getting started. Because we've been chomping at the bit for this. Well, it's coming out. One more step has come out last week with CDMA. You're going to see more stuff roll out at Ignition. So just stay in the game here. Keep driving forward. We can do this. This is a big deal. So that's pretty much all I got. Just know, again, unlimited talk and text, no contracts, no excessive data overages because we bill by the minute. Reliable coverage, we've got 2 networks, month to month, so it's flexible. You can go where you need. We've got some of the best tools available and more coming. You're going to hear about tremendous tools coming at Ignition. And guys, our premium customer support has been lacking to a degree because we are starting up. It's been a bumpy ride. They're ramping up with us. But hang in there. I've been in the business for 20 years. I worked for Sprint, and I had the worst customer service with my own company. I got so frustrated. It's tough. It's really tough. And they've improved, and they still have a long way to go. So what we have here, believe me, is far better than what I've been dealing with at Sprint. We're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep training them. Things are changing every day, guys. Hang in there. I'm telling you, we've got something that's going to fire this thing up and change everything when we start moving national. So that's everything I got, guys. I hope that helps a little bit. That's what our mobile is today. Stay tuned. There's more coming. That's it.